Well, I'd worked with Julie Weiss on, this was my 5th film with her, and she really is an extraordinary artist. And she's a very interesting woman, fascinating. She's a close friend. And I said, Sasha asked me, he said, "Do you think of Julie Weiss?" I said, she's the best. And Julie studies and does so much homework, and she knew the period, and she'll spend hours talking to you about the period of the 50s and the 60s. And she's got such a wealth of knowledge. And everyone loves Julie. She will talk and talk and talk non-stop about a piece of fabric. And I let her talk, you know. We've become good friends. I love Julie. But she's such a genius. She really is quite extraordinary. And I'm very proud that she did this. She designed all the suits. She knew how, you know, the body suit. She put down the fat suit. The shirts were all made, and the neck, you know, the collar to fit on this. And everything, all the details about the ties. Because Hitchcock only wore black suits. Sometimes he wore a light suit, depending on the season, but usually a black tie or grey tie. But he never had much colour on him, you know, just that was his look. And she designed it perfectly, I think. And that, you see, when you look in the mirror, once you're ready to go on the set, you look in the mirror thinking, that's it then. Good afternoon, good evening. Then you become Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know about acting, I don't know what it is about, but I enjoy doing it anyway. Well, she's wonderful. I mean, she's such a great talent, such a wonderful actress and actor, you know. And I'd seen her many times on films, but I'd met her once or twice. I didn't know her at all well. I met her in Los Angeles with her husband, and she was just very professional, very friendly, so unselfish, cooperative, all those words. And that's all you need, you know, as was Jessica Biel and James Darcy and Toni Collette and Scarlett Johansson, just so generous. And I think that's what it is about acting. You work with people who turn up on time, don't have an attitude, not miserable, and it makes it a pleasure. For example, I'm working at the moment with Bruce Willis on Red 2, and he's wonderful. You know, he's there on time. He's friendly, he's supportive, and Helen's in that movie as well. So that's all it takes. That's the chemistry. You get on well together, and when Helen's doing that great scene where she attacks her husband, which is the great Alfred Hitchcock, she did that speech. She got a round of applause, and my job is just to stand there and take it. You know, I don't have to do any acting at all. Let her blast into me, and all I have to do is back up a bit, you know, and to not try and take the scene from her. Let the scene, it's her scene. It's a question of music, really, and like playing table tennis. You give and you take, you give and you take, and that's the best. Well, it's what happens in marriages. I mean, you know, the thing is that, can I just say that, make this point, that men are so tunnel visioned about work, 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 you know. You have the complaint. Men dedicate themselves to the office or the work, and they hardly ever see their families. Marriages break up because men are obsessive with work, ambition and career and all that, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but men tend to be forgetful. And Hitchcock was dedicated to his work as an artist, as a great artist, but he neglected to look around him and say there were other people who needed attention. But Alma was also a great artist, a great editor, great technician, so she must have supported him. They must have had a tough time as well. They had fights, apparently. There were some witnesses when they went there, there'd be a lot of shouting and all that, because she must have been hurt. She must have been. Sometimes there's obsession with these beautiful women. But it wasn't an erotic obsession. It was his ideal woman that he put up on the screen. He was a supremely great artist and, of course, very, very selfish, as all men are, you know, dedicated to their work. And that makes for very selfish human beings. So he could have given more to his wife than he did. No, I doubt it. It was meant to be. They met very early on in their lives. She was an editor in the studio here in London, and he was a struggling young editor himself, and you know, assistant, and wanted to direct. And I think it was meant to be. That was the fate of their lives, their destiny. That she saw his talent, he saw hers, and they did it as a team. I don't think he probably needed that in his life. I mean, if he'd made the wrong marriage, it probably wouldn't have worked. It just so happened that that's the way it was. And like any good partnership, it's a give and take. You're supportive of a wife. I mean, I've learned over the years to say yes, dear, to my wife, because she's right. And I don't know much, you know. Men are like that because, you know, we pretend we know everything. We don't. The women know much more than we do. So we say, if Hitchcock says, yes, dear, you are absolutely right. I'll put the music into the shower scene, as you say. But no, he said, no, I'm not going to do it. You do it. Typical man.